Little Rhythm and a Wicked Feeling is the latest EP from American synth-pop duo Magdalena. They are a little duo that I haven't really delved into before. I got them through a recommendation, been listening to them for the past few days. They're a nice little synth-pop group here, offering some nice breezy pop tunes. They're pretty prolific with EP releases, so I should definitely check out some of their older stuff, but they currently don't have an album under their belt, so they are pretty unknown, I guess you could say, but what they're offering here is really nice. The tunes are very soft and delicate throughout. There is this nice funkiness to the tracks that I really dig, especially on the first track, How to Get Physical, which I'd say is by far the best track here. It's easily the one that gets me grooving the most. The vocals are as light as fairy cakes. If you're a big fan of Carly Rae Jepsen, I do feel as though you'll get something out of these vocals on this EP here, because I was definitely catching a little bit of her influence throughout this EP, but not only Carly Rae Jepsen, but one of the bigger ones too, I would say, it's got to be Kylie Minogue. The opening track is a funky synth jam that definitely calls back to that prime Kylie Minogue era, like 2001 with her Fever album. Just has really solid production. The vocals are really on point. It's a nice little catchy chorus comes along with it too. It provides you with what you want from the best of pop music, really, you know, just a catchy rhythm, a nice tune, delicate vocals. It really is just pretty sweet on the ears. There's not really a lot to say other than that. Apparently the vocalist has gone on record saying that she takes heavy influence from Grimes as well, and I definitely get that from a track like Airplane. This is peak Grimes, like Art Angels era Grimes. Not the most recent album, which is an album I don't particularly like all that much, but the tunes from Art Angels just is reeking on the track Airplane. It's a great little track as well. I guess it comes with a slight detriment though to Magdalena as a whole, because so far I'm kind of just thinking about other artists whenever a song comes on, even though I do like what they're doing, but there's just this lack of distinctness to this EP for me. Like, sometimes I'm just not fully sure of what they're bringing that separates them from other artists. It's a very safe sounding EP, to be honest. Like, not to say that everything has to be boundary pushing and experimental or whatever, like, you know, it doesn't need to be like that at all. Sometimes I can go completely wrong, completely awry, and make a mess of an album or an EP, but there is just this lack of balls to this EP. Like, give me some more fire, give me some more oomph. It's just a very comfortable sounding EP, and while it does leave a nice impression on the ears, I'm just like waiting for some big moment to stand out, to fire through, to make me go, yes, this is something that I am completely, you know, unaware of. No other artist is out here giving me this feeling, because the vocals at times are just so light and thin that you can't really get attached to anything, you know? It's like not listening to a robot, but it's almost like that feel of like that disconnect between listening to something that just isn't reaching you on an emotional level. Even though tracks like Killshot are really on point with how catchy they are, and that is one of the better tracks here, but then you get to like the final track and I'm just like lost in what's going on. Like, nothing is leaving much of an impression on me whatsoever. And then the male vocal comes through, and he just has very little in the way of like distinctness. He's bringing so little to the table that it almost feels like he doesn't really need to be there. He's just adding nothing, and it just feels pretty repetitive by that point. Like, I feel as though they've given us too many of the same type of songs. You know, even for an EP, it does actually start to feel like it gets a little bit over the top with the kind of same repeated rhythms and stuff. But even though it sounds like I'm being negative, it is a nice EP. Like, these tracks are solid for what they are. I just kind of want to see them break free a little bit, break free and just kind of go all out there and just do something a little different. There's just too much of that throwback feel to this. It sort of feels like it's pulling from the 80s, the early 2000s, and I don't know, I just want something that's going to give me something that's a bit more current, a bit more forward thinking, you know, maybe some extra oomph in the vocals would provide that, I think. Because when I think of probably what's going to be like a top 3 pop album of the year for me currently, Dua Lipa's album, you know, you look at those tracks and some of the things I'm saying in this review apply to that album too. You know, there's not exactly a great deal of originality. It is a bit throwback at times. It's pulling from different eras of pop music. But my God, does Dua Lipa bring bags of personality that you wouldn't necessarily get from any other singer. And that's what I just feel is slightly missing here, you know? You get it from Carly Rae Jepsen too. She just brings something slightly different with the way she sings and the emotional impact that you get from her songs, and, you know, the passion she gives in her delivery too. I just think this EP and Magdalena Bay are just slightly off with that. But it's definitely good. It's definitely good. Nice tunes. I don't want to sound like I'm being massively harsh here because it is enjoyable overall, but I just think in terms of what I generally try and look for in music, what I want to stand out in music, that's just slightly missing, I think, here. But How to Get Physical, great pop song, honestly. Could be one for the playlists. You know, you can play this over and over again and I don't think it would get boring. So yeah, I like it overall. Thank you for watching my review. Hopefully you enjoyed what I had to say though. Even though I wasn't as fully positive as I wanted to be, let me know if you think I'm wrong, because you probably think I'm wrong. Tell me your thoughts on this. Let me know what I should review next as well. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Subscribe and goodbye.